Hello, I'm Josh and I work at Tesco's twice a week and I get paid for it and I really enjoy it. I'm 20 years old, be 21 this year. I like being a nice man and respect people. But I like the theatre, I like bowling, I get lots of stripes, I'm in the lead. Really enjoy it actually.
Hi, I'm Katie Nesbitt. So I have a thing called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which means my collagen in my body doesn't work properly. Now, the collagen is things that keep your bodies together. It supports the muscles, and if the muscles aren't working correctly, the joints don't work. If the joints don't work, mine constantly dislocate. I've got dystonia, which means my muscles are overactive. That doesn't work well with the Ehlers-Danlos because the dystonia, that triggers all the muscle spasms. So that will force my shoulder out of its socket. So it will dislocate multiple times a day, and due to the muscle spasms, I can't put it back in. I have to wait for the muscles to relax. So you can spend up to 2-3 hours with a shoulder that's forcing it out of its socket, and there's not really a whole lot you can do, which is really painful.
My name's Stephen Bowler. I've had a brain tumour which affected me down the right hand side, and it affected my speech because I have to think about it and then my mind goes blank. It's like me having a trip switch. Right. It scared the living daylights out of me, because my friend, he died of epilepsy. That was what I had, an epileptic attack. As it still does actually. Just thinking back,
Yeah.
It scared the living daylights out of my mum, and she had to give up work at Birdseye to look after me.
For me, being in school, that didn't work. I like hands-on things, more practical. Probably the first time I got here though, I felt very supportive. I felt safe actually here. Because nowhere else I've been able to eat lunch anywhere. And I think on the first day I came here I did. I haven't been able to have that confidence, but since I've come here, I've been able to do that. I mean, I find socialising very difficult, and over time I've learnt to cope with that somehow.
Hi, I'm Mel. I have an autistic son called Max. He's 22 years old and he's fabulous. His physical appearance, he looks absolutely fine. A lot of people would just think he's your average young man in the street. Funny little things, for instance, he's quite sound sensitive, so he has a lot of sensory issues. So when Max does get overwhelmed by noises when he's out in public, by lights, smells as well, this can kick in his little behaviour, so he will stim quite a lot. So stimming can be anything from tapping his legs, to flapping, to physically jumping on the spot up and down, to making sort of strange droning noises, and this can startle people. It does surprise people, so we do get quite a few heads turned.
I get exhausted very quickly. Your body it's overworking just to do simple things like walking upstairs, getting to my lessons on time. When I was younger I was pretty fit and healthy. I was running around, I was an athlete. I had to give up my sport. I stopped going out quite a lot, so you get quite isolated. Your friends didn't understand. They thought, you just didn't want to meet up with them anymore.
Yeah, I was picking dandelion leaves for the guinea pigs, and I picked them all in our garden. We had a playground behind our house, and I thought, oh lovely, there'll be some up there. So I got my carrier bag, walked up to the playground, and there was obviously a lady with 2 children just playing. I started picking the dandelions. The lady went with her little children. Next thing I know, a police car turns up with 2 policemen in it, saying they've got reports that I was acting strangely in the vicinity of a children's play area, and then they took me back. But it's just, it doesn't help though, because sometimes in the world I already think I'm a bit mad, sort of thing, and things like that just sort of reinforce it and make me feel a bit terrible actually. At the end of the day, I was just picking dandelion leaves for the guinea pigs.
Well, I got on the bus and there was 2 ladies sitting there and she said, "What are you looking at?" what are you pushing in? And I said, I'm not. And she said, why? I said, I'm not. And she said, what's the matter? And I said, I've got autism, and I felt a bit upset that day. I knew I made that mistake that day, but I don't want to keep making them mistakes.
What mistake do you think you made?
Like letting the lady go first.
Well, you did let her go first, didn't you?
Yeah?
Yeah. So you didn't push in?
I didn't push in, she pushed in.
Yeah.
And I just felt a bit sad about that.
Yeah. But what else did she say to you when you were on the bus?
We're looking at, well, I think everything's my fault. I keep saying sorry. Well, I know it isn't.
And then what did she say to you?
I'm the F word.
Did she?
Yeah. And that made me feel really upset.
Hmm.
And I didn't know how to deal with it.
No.
I don't like swearing at people because I'm not that sort of person. But I don't know why it didn't happen to people like me with problems and autism.
So you got your lessons and you have like 5 minutes to get to your next class. I have to wait, so I'm permanently late for my classes because I have to wait for the big crowds of people to go through first, because otherwise they knock into me and I'm out with my knee, or it could be my hip that falls out. Yeah, they used to make you walk around in the field in the pouring rain because you couldn't take part in, I don't know, volleyball or swimming. I couldn't do it because my joints would fall out and I'd be knocked about and you'd be left in pain. But they wouldn't understand that. So as punishment, you would be made to walk around the field. It didn't matter if it was snowing, if it was raining. You would just be sent out because you're not good enough to be taking part with the rest of the year group.
But yeah, so it made me feel a bit, I don't know, a bit unsettled and a bit stigmatised, really.
And the lady didn't say anything to you?
No, the lady just went with her 2 children. And yeah, then about 10 minutes later, the police turned up. Society is still, unfortunately, quite stigmatised, and things like that just reinforce it. The stigma surrounding mental health.
I felt self-conscious because when I first came out of hospital, they didn't put a plate in my head. And I was going to the shops and it felt like everybody was looking at me from all angles, like I was, a different person, and I got treated differently. It made me so uncomfortable I shut myself away for 20 years.
When I got off the bus, I punched myself in the face because I don't know how to deal with these problems, and I wish I didn't do it. I just wish I could find other ways to deal with it, not just always hurt myself.
It was just like the start of all my mental health issues, really. It made me feel lonely, alone. It made me feel depressed, sad, angry as well. Not a lot of happiness. A lot of worrying involved. There was counselling, and then there was therapies. That was really low. Yeah, I couldn't see a future or anything outside of it. I think it's when I got to the point in my life where I didn't feel like living, and then when they started telling me like, what about do this and then do that, and then that's how I found my love for animals.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I wish I could see myself in the future. That would be good. Me being back then and then seeing me and seeing this, what I'm doing now. I wouldn't say anything like it gets better, because when people say that, everybody says it will get better. It does get better, but using that doesn't really work. I think it's more, and I think it's just, instead of just saying that, I think having a conversation with somebody and giving them support is probably the best thing.
I understand that people will stare because that's human nature. So if you know you're not expecting it, suddenly there's a loud noise, someone suddenly jumps up and down, starts flapping, you're going to look, you're going to wonder what's going on. I think perhaps maybe not the laughing so much. It's mainly, well, younger people maybe sort of like, oh, crumbs, bit weird, step back. Sometimes as well people avoiding us. So perhaps Max has got quite upset in a shop, he's flapping quite a bit, but I need to get my shopping done, still need to get that done. People will or have moved to the next aisle or sort of stepped back from us. They don't need to do that. Max wouldn't hurt anybody. It's just his way of coping with with everything that's going on around him.
Nobody asked me what I was doing. It was just not a heavy-handed approach, it was just sort of almost ignorance from the police as well. But it was just felt a bit felt a bit like a criminal really, and I wasn't even doing anything. But I think society now, people are frightened of mental health, so I think, and the police now more and more are being mental health paramedics, but the training they receive isn't always what's best for people, sort of thing. But yeah, I think it was just all a bit of an overreaction. I only lived round the corner. They didn't need to take me back. I told them where I lived, but I didn't need escorting back. That was over the top, and that makes you feel bad as well. Having to people in their flats looking at you and think, oh God, what's the police coming for? What are they bringing her back for with the police? But yeah, it was just a bit of a massive overreaction.